Welcome back, Bandec-folks. Here we are again on the Bandecdotes YouTube channel. How you doing, buddy? We're in person.
Good. We are live. We're together. This is not an effect. We are here, episode 9. We're going to get into a really, really interesting set of local releases.
Yeah, this was great. If you aren't already, make sure that you're subscribed to the YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram. That's just at Bandecdotes, BANDECDOTES. And yeah, we could just jump right into the local releases right here.
Yeah, so getting started, Dear Evangeline, Brampton grungy punk outfit. They have their first single. I don't know if this is their first single of all time or just the first one to be on streaming, but it's called Saint Complex. This is like a grungy. It's got like big punk roots. The vocalist sounds really like fierce and like just super unhinged. And I believe that this track was actually like mixed and recorded by Dear God.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's actually cool. How I found out about these guys.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I was going to say, how did we get into this? That's interesting. Dear God, Dear Evan.
Dear Evangeline.
Yeah.
I believe they're called.
Yeah, Dear God and Dear Evan. Like, this was
okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. This was the first one to like that we started out like, so I set them up in a playlist and this was the first one I jumped into. This was, I don't know what I was expecting with the name like that, but I certainly wasn't expecting what I ended up listening to with this band. You ever listen to Oathbreaker?
Yeah, I did.
A big
mighty Oathbreaker.
Yeah. Oathbreaker vibes, but like they didn't get to that black metal area that kind of Oathbreaker does. This was a great way to start off our local releases. I really enjoyed this track.
I would like to see Off Leash Festival in the future.
Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, if you guys are listening, and we know that you are, make sure that you do that because that's a great idea, and give him IP credit.
I deserve it. Speaking of Off Leash, Blood Wraith have a demo EP, I guess you'd call it. It's called Ratas. Yeah. I believe. This is heavy.
Yes.
Heavy.
Yes.
Deathy, doomy, but the vocals are extremely growly. It's just mixed like sushi. It is so raw sounding.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say other than this is like crazy heavy, kind of sounds like Early Dying Fetus.
Yeah,
like,
true.
Like death metal, but just slammy and moshy the entire time. Really unpredictable too. Like,
right.
It's like every time like the song would finish a riff, it was hard to know where it was going to go next.
Yeah, absolutely. I really liked how, like that raw fuzziness that was involved with this. Off Leash, folks. This is great. I was supposed to play with Blood Wraith with Sinner in Hamilton, and they couldn't make it. Someone had to do like a school assignment set up. So we had to put another band on. But like, yeah, I'm so glad to. Is this their first? I'm not aware. Do you know if they have other tracks released? Or I think they have a 3-song demo.
They might. I just checked this out.
This was great though.
Yeah, no, this was super sick. I also really like the there's like I can't remember exactly what part. Oh yeah, no, it's the song with Jake. Apeticia. Sorry, I don't speak Spanish.
I think it was Spanish. Yeah.
We need to insert the
Bing.
Come again. You know I don't speak Spanish. In English, please.
But yeah, the song, and Jake, by the way, we were talking about it before we started recording, but just I said about Keith Buckley that I don't really like when he does guest vocals.
Right.
I want to hear Jake on every band.
Yeah.
I really like his voice. This is such a different project than Mile End, and his voice matched beautifully. He sounded perfect on this track. And I love the Evil Circus part in that song.
Yeah,
I love Evil Circus parts.
Yeah, that was great. Next up, we have Monk with singles that they have coming up with
definitely an album coming soon.
Yeah, an album coming out with Only Way Out and Cool and Collected. This was great. This was rock and roll. This was fuzz punk, kind of like their friends in D-Boy, like Turbo Negro, kind of like those like fuzz rock bands. Like I really enjoyed this.
I was getting Black Flag.
Okay.
I was getting like, especially like, so like only only way out, I got some Black Flag with super modern production, but like,
yes, of course. Yeah.
And like the vocals that sound more like really like aggressive, like angry talking.
Mm-hmm.
And then for Cool and Collected, I got like heavier Viagra voice.
Yes. Yeah. So like fiddler, like like those beach vibes. Like
it really reminded me of what's that song by Viagra Boys? The Punk Rock Loser.
Yes.
I fucking love
that's a cool song too. Yeah.
That album in general.
Yeah. No, I can definitely see that comparison. That's cool. I was getting more like fuzz rock, but like Black Flag. Now that you mention it, like I can see where they're pulling from that. Yeah.
Monk. Only Way Out and Cool and Collected. Awesome stuff. So Toronto indie rock band Interface have put out their first 2 tracks, Leave and Pop-Up Book. What'd you think?
It was very beach vibes. Like I was rocking out. Like, yeah, this was cool. This was definitely I got that. You ever heard of the Hockey Dad? Like, you know what I mean? Like this is all tunes that I can see myself laying out on a beach and just fucking playing on a boombox and just enjoying the sun.
For sure. This was an interesting, just like alt rock. Again, it did remind me of like the Killers and stuff like that. And I actually like really like the Killers. Like, Mr. Brightside that's
like an anthem.
That's a perfect song.
There was one time I was at, this was like probably closer to 10 years ago. I was at like a college party and that song came on and, we like back in our days, it wasn't uncommon for someone to play Bury Your Dead in the party to get excited or like Despised Icon.
Kitchen moshes were like a big part of our like early 20s.
Yeah. So to go to like a college party where Mr. Brightside came on and the whole party started singing it, it was kind of like this dystopian. Like I was like, what is going on? This is the song people are getting like lit to. Still a banger. If it comes on.
They have some stuff in their later catalog that's like more artsy and stuff, but it really respectful. So I don't know. I like them. Shout out the Killers, but more so shout out Interface because that's who we're actually talking about.
Yeah, Interface from Toronto. Next up, we have Absorb with their release Rot. Now, we call it like we were saying earlier, it's an EP, but like it's not an EP. It's like only X amount of songs.
Absorb isn't even a band. It's actually a 50-foot sludge monster.
Just like attacking Godzilla. Like this is absolutely disgusting sounding. Like especially the noises at the beginning, just punches in like really hard. Punishing record. This is up there with like Full of Hell's slow stuff with like the noise. But it just kind of keeps going. Like it's one of those songs that you like a lot of these songs you could just keep fucking bobbing your head to. This is probably a great record to listen to in the gym, like when you're doing cardio or something like that, because although it's like doomy and it's drawn out in some of these other tracks, keeps you fucking bobbing your head. It's a head bobber, certified head bobber. Yeah,
it's with doomy stuff in general. I like when a doom band and a sludge band can hit a level of repetition that starts to feel like a lot of the vocal deliveries on this sound like chants.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They have like the catchiness of like a chant to them.
Yeah.
It gives it this like
a war chant.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like, again, it's oozing with evil
and
fuzz. And like, and one thing we were talking about with this band before too, is that like, again, typically with bands like this, the vocalist will match the tone of the band sonically as well. And I find their vocalist just cuts through the mix beautifully. You can really hear he's very present and up front in the mix. Yeah.
And that's a new vocalist they have. So it's great to
that's sick.
To hear like picking up and getting right into the songs. This band hasn't released something in a while, so it's good to hear that they've put out something that like you could really sink your teeth into.
Yeah, and I do want to say that like this is like very much like a doom metal project, but there's a lot of really interesting riffing on here. Like there's very moshable parts. It's not just like I would say the most recent track that they put out before dropping this one, the one we reviewed last time. I ended up cutting it out, but I ended up saying that this is Absorb holding back their power level.
Right.
And I was exactly right. Yeah. Because every other song, like that was the moment to breathe on this otherwise just dragging and punishing.
Yeah.
Punishing
Yeah,
record.
yeah.
So shout out Absorb. Awesome stuff. And friends of the show, Sky Caught Fire. They put out a new song. Go to our channel and watch it right now if it's already out.
There we go.
All right, why don't you introduce this next one? You seemed very stoked about
Oh
this
my
band.
God. Yes. This Midwest Mount, which I love the name Midwest Mount with their release.
They understand what they are.
With their release, Are You Still Confused? The singer of this band also has a project called Drives the Common Man, which is really songful. This might be my new favorite band, to be honest. Like you're getting, flavors of Tom DeLonge, you're getting flavors of Front Bottoms, you're getting flavors of what's a Hot Mulligan, you're getting flavors of like that really hyper like pop, but like it's still like skate punk at its finest, no pressure kind of vibes. I really like this. This was kind of remind me of like Blink-182 during their like self-titled emo kind of era. They managed
My favorite era by the way.
Yeah. So it's like they managed to like double dip with like the pop punk.
I don't know if I should have said that.
With the pop punk and the emo. I think it's blended perfectly. Just when I thought I thought where the song was going to go, it did something else that I really enjoyed.
That ukulele switch.
Yeah.
In retrospect, I think that one like Mr. album that came out,
The
Bad
record,
News,
yeah.
is like one of my favorite albums of all time.
It's great.
And every time a band comes through and sounds like Mr.,
Yeah.
I am immediately on board. And
Yes.
I was not expecting Wants and Needs, but I definitely needed it and I wanted it.
Oh.
That's just like punkiest song on it by far. And then sorry to ruin it, but halfway through they just switched to like a ukulele indie song.
Yeah.
Have you heard the song Phoenix Ignition by Thrice?
Yes.
It's like that in reverse.
Yes.
Super cool.
Yeah. This was a really cool.
I'm
I said,
right on board with you. I think this might be one of my favorite bands.
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah. I really enjoyed this. So shout outs to them. And if you're watching, thank you for putting out awesome music.
Toronto moody grunge gaze.
Yeah.
Band Please Don't Crash. They released 2 songs. It seems to be under an EP name called What Good Does Getting Angry Do?
Yes.
They also released an EP like just a couple months before. And I was speaking before about that like chant feeling.
Mhm.
This has that feeling in
Yes.
spades. It reminds me of like, again, the way Kurt Cobain and Nirvana would repeat things in a way where like it just added to the emotional conviction of what he was saying. It
Right.
felt agonizing.
Yes. Yeah. So like I've already mentioned, I'm driving a lot of the time when I'm listening to this music. So if the song can contextualize what's happening, I had just gotten off of like a 9-hour shift. It's like 10:30 at night. I put this track on. I'm driving in the dark country roads, and it was like the perfect soundtrack for that. Like, if you told me that this vocalist was a ghost, I would be like, I would totally be like it was very haunting, especially like I was just saying, like down those dark roads. Like if there was a ghost in front of my road, this would be the music. This was the music that I would this listening to. It was perfect.
Yeah. This reminds me of like early sort of Scram stuff.
Yeah.
Refused, Alexis, Blood Brothers.
True. Yeah.
Blood.
I haven't heard that band name in a minute.
Blood Brothers is an old classic.
Yeah.
I can't believe they haven't been one of our recommends. You know what? They're going to be my quasi early recommend of this episode is the Blood Brothers record. Can't remember the name of it, but there's like a person wearing a mask on the front or something. And you should check that out. Ooh, this was a good one.
BFG.
This is a goodie.
Big fucking deal.
I was going to ask you what it's.
I don't know if that's what it stands for.
It should be.
Big fucking dick.
They're a pretty political band. I wonder if they're a very political band.
So it's the same singer from Easy Way Out. I don't know if you remember that Welland band. Shane Tyre played in that band.
Of course he did.
So this is like a Welland kind of revival. This was great to hear that, like you're hearing some of that hardcore coming out of that area again, because
street style hardcore.
Yeah, like it's been like with Wildside being around, I think a lot of the Welland folks have kind of like that is the hardcore band coming out of hardcore or Welland right now, and it has been for the last like 5 or 8 years. And it's kind of gone dry as far as some of the other projects that have happened out there, right? There were so many happening at one point, like with Rat Patrol and Sabotage, Easy Way Out, like I already mentioned, Zero, and they were all coming out of Welland. So, and like I said, I think a lot of people just kind of branched off and did other things musically. So it's good to hear that there are some folks still making hardcore coming out of that area. This band just played yesterday at the Knack. I saw some pictures of it. This was raw hardcore. If you are a fan of the genre and like really like the like meat and potatoes of it with no fucking
frills.
no frills, no zazz, just like this is the demo for you. Loved it.
It kept reminding me of Expire.
Cool.
Not vocally
Yeah.
necessarily, but very much
Yeah.
guitar and drum wise. Also a little bit of Suburban Scott.
Bet
A
they're-
lot of Terror.
They're better people than Expire too. I don't know.
Is it the guitarist or something?
They got
Right?
canceled,
He
yeah.
got a little canceled.
Yeah, yeah.
Got a little canceled.
Yeah.
You doing some fuck shit, boy?
Some
You doing
shit,
some fuck shit,
some fuck shit boy.
Yeah. I don't know if I should insert my politics onto the show, but I appreciate anyone with just an ACAB ass song.
Yes.
And let's complain about the police state in our like. I like when my punk music is political. I'm sorry to be old fashioned.
No. I think they kind of go hand in hand, right? The
They
genre.
don't have to, but
The
it's
genre
nice
was
when they
built kind of on that, right? With like with old acts existing, like it's always been kind of like a like fuck the system kind of thing. And
I really like this. Big fucking deal.
yeah,
Their
big
demo.
fucking deal.
If you're in big fucking deal, please get in the comments and tell us what your band name is.
the boys. Look at your camera. The boys.
Salem Trials have released their EP that they were talking about on
Yes,
our
I'm
episode just a couple
so
days
excited.
ago. This sounded badass.
Oh, and to hear that the song that we reacted to, Immolation, is the opening track.
Perfect.
It was
opening
like
track.
you know what this is? Doom music. If the developers of Doom are watching, and we know that you are, you need to call Salem Trials, and they are going to be the soundtrack for the next Doom game, because that was what I was getting. Like, was it Angel Maker? And
I was
like,
getting so much like new era of corruption era Whitechapel.
Yeah,
Especially
that's a
on
great record.
Cenotaph, I think. It just has that like machine, like
and they're
I can't even describe it. It just sounds like mechanical.
yeah, and it's funny that you say that, because I think they're even touching on some Meshuggah influences, where it's like a repetitive but like weird like patterns with the chugging pattern. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Thierry, I believe his name is, gets real inhuman sounding again.
Yeah.
I really, really like his vocals.
Yeah, and his like online presence being like showing you how to do like some
And
of
he
the
seems so soft spoken.
Yeah.
I told these guys after we wrapped up, Thierry, if you're watching this, you got some star power. I think him, Zach, Nick, and the other guys all working together. I think this is like the light up for them. I think that this is going to work out beautifully, and they're seeing massive success. They're shooting up like 100,000.
they're doing and they're present on TikTok, and like they're doing really well as
You know
far
what
as
else I was getting on the song Nocturnal Creations? Early for Today.
oh okay yeah with that kind of like gent with like yeah
I got and like a little BT Bam, but then it clicked because I compare everyone to BT Bam as soon as they play like one circus riff. But I was actually getting like Early for Today, which is so
Cool.
funny because I don't think they could be on opposite ends of the spectrum in terms of what they're talking about in their music.
correct.
I remember the dude from For Today. There was like a meme before memes existed that he would just stop shows and do prayers. And then I think you might have been there. I saw them at All Stars tour, and he straight up did.
Yeah.
He'd just be like, "Oh, we're gonna take a minute to talk about my beliefs." I'm like, no, we're not. Don't.
Yes.
People were like booing him and shit.
Yeah no,
It was bad.
yeah and yeah, of course that was an era of time where like Christian metalcore was big, and
It was like a way to get on labels and stuff. There was a
Yeah.
lot of seedy stuff going on with bands just basically saying like, "Oh, we're Christian,"
Yeah.
and like not abiding by the lifestyle that a Christian is supposed to
Yeah.
abide by whatsoever.
Yeah.
Just a way to get on Solid State Records.
Yeah. Well, one of my favorite examples of a band that like really didn't shove it down your throat. There was a couple of them, but the Chariot was like
They're Christian.
exactly.
This EP absolutely slaps. Yeah, crushing stuff. These guys seem to be having a lot of success. I think it's well deserved. They're also stellar dudes. It was nice talking to Zach or Zeke Bray.
Zeke Bruh and
Zane.
Mark Bager was
Right,
like
Mark Bagger and Zeke. Good guys. So yeah, no, but in all honesty, shout out Salem Charles.
It was Nick Bagger, but well, yeah,
we're gonna have to edit the shit out of this.
Next up, we have Sleepy Jean, which I with the release "Shoot Me in a Dream," which I fell 6 feet deep in love with this.
That's an interesting way of putting that.
It was one of the tracks on there. No, this was great. This is Katie from Warehouse, who's been running shows there.
Phil, her name is Sleepy Jean.
Oh, true. So like I've actually interacted with her quite a bit, but this was the first time I've gone out of my way to listen to their music. Sorry, I listened to so much stuff, but I saw that this was a brand new release, and that's always on my radars if it's new. Loved this. This was like doo-wop with like blues with like country. I'm getting like old Marty Robbins, but with like this reminds me, if you went to a karaoke night and heard someone do like an old country song and you said to yourself, that person would sound great in a band. And then they made a band. That's exactly how awesome Sleepy Jean sounds. They're songful songs. You don't really get a lot of. So there was like obviously some Taylor Swift I was getting out of there, even some Julian Baker. But like, because there was like a little bit of emo touchingness, but we were still keeping it very old school in the way that there was like straight up songs that you could slow dance to your wife with. And I loved that because you don't really hear those songs anymore, especially with like an age where pop music is developed for you to be like, oh, this is perfect. This is catchy. This is
the part for the TikTok.
This is the TikTok part. This is the hook. So you don't really get very like Fleetwood Mac and style Stevie Nicks. That's what I was getting all of those flavors from this record. It was great to listen to.
For me, as someone who isn't as familiar with any of like Stevie Nicks' music or Fleetwood Mac or like I didn't have a dad, guys, but holy fuck. To me, this just was like some pure ass like Red Dead Redemption core.
Yep.
Like this was like I never thought about the fact that I'm not like a big fan of country music, but I really like Western.
Like spaghetti
music.
Westerns.
I like slide guitars. I like debutante ball music. Yeah. And the thing about these songs, and again, I have like a pile of notes because like every time all these songs just have so much individual character.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think this is country. I think this is more folky singer-songwriter.
Yeah.
Almost like guitar-driven bedroom pop even.
Mm-hmm.
But I like there's like mariachi horns all over these songs.
Yeah. You don't hear that from a local release.
Like doo-wop mixed with slide guitars.
Dude, this is great.
It just felt so creative.
Yeah,
like
it really did.
It sounded like sometimes when I really like a band, like something like Better Lovers or something like that, I like basically borderline like fantasize about being in the band.
Sure.
Like, I'll be I'm the vocalist of Better Lovers instead. And this is the type of thing where as I was listening to it, I'm like, fuck, like I wish I was the guitarist in the section, like,
sure,
laying down some of this shit. Like this just seems like it would have been such a fun and interesting experience to be like writing this music.
Yeah.
Like I don't think you can really pigeonhole any of this. This was such like a nice surprise for me.
Yeah, this was great.
I love when this happens because again, like I don't think we're ever gonna come on this podcast and ever shit on anyone or something.
Absolutely not.
At least not any of our friends or locals or like we are not about that. We try to keep things as positive here as possible. But sometimes I look at like a name and like an album name and an album artwork, and I'm like, all right, well, I'll give this like as open a mind as I can and give it a listen. I was fucking blown away by this. Blown away by this. This is one of the things that makes me want to do this podcast.
Yeah.
Is how much I genuinely feel like, again, just listening to music in mostly Ontario. We expand a little bit here and there. We got Ken Mode coming up later. But like I just love how expansive the music around here is. Like this sounds like a piece of Americana.
Yeah.
And it was written by someone who lives in Welland, Ontario.
Yeah, exactly.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Blown away. I it's such a shame because I truly have so many notes written for every single song. I'm not going to waste everyone's time getting into all my notes, but I will just say that totally blown away by this project.
Absolutely.
Speak of the devil.
Yes,
folks.
you line that up perfectly.
Winnipeg's very own Ken Mode. Ken Mode is from a Black Flag song. It stands for Kill Everybody Now. They've been releasing a few, I guess, like proggy sort of post-metal. I'm deeming post-metalcore.
Yeah, it's funny that you explained Ken Mode to me because I'll be entirely honest. I thought it was like, they could have a predecessor called Ryu Mode, and it was like something like Street Fighter. Like this is like I'm going Ken Mode on them. Like, and honestly, I'll be. This was the first time I ever listened to them. I thought they were like a glitchcore band. I thought they were like a hyper pop, one person band. That's what I thought this band was. And it's not at all. It's straight up like a heavy act.
This is a cool set of tracks. I'm excited. So they had an album come out last year called Null, which is a really fun, cool, heavy album, similar to what you're hearing here. A lot of aggressive, mathy sort of tracks. This one's called Void. That's going to be coming out. So Null, Void. These tracks are really cool. They're doomy. The vocalist he keeps everything like aggressive. It's really hard to explain these tracks. They're dynamic, they're unpredictable, they're heavy. It's definitely a little bit more artsy and proggy,
right,
than it is like crushingly heavy. But I like it. I like all the dissonance and like the mathy sort of vibe that they bring to it. I don't know. They're really hard to pin down. I'm really excited to hear the album when it finally comes out. And if you're into like doomy, mathy.
Totally.
Shout out Ken Mode.
Next up, we have Burlington pop punk, or you want to call it emo, post emo?
I wrote Midwest dipped emo.
Okay, yeah, dipped into it. The Penske File. These folks have been around for a while, I believe.
This is their fourth album. 10 years ago, they put out their first one. So that's really cool. Congrats to them on their continued success.
Yeah, I know. It's got that emo inspired. You're getting like some flavors of Turnover at sometimes. Basement,
Misser, Transit.
Yeah, all the great stuff, and really cool. I'm a big fan of this genre, so I love when you get a record like that just to jump right into.
As much as I was getting sort of some of those more, I guess, quote unquote modern emo bands like Title Fight, Misser, I was really getting a lot of like Get Up Kids and Jawbreaker and like Sunny Day Real Estate.
Yeah, now that you say that,
where it felt like more like literal like emo rock.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like it felt like indie rock, but very, very emotional versus like what emo has sort of been mutated into
right
years, where it basically just like started to mean like scene.
Yeah.
Which isn't even really like a way of describing things anymore, I don't think.
No, I don't think so. I think we just dated ourselves. Scene.
Like bright, sarcastic, punk tinged alt rock, I would say.
Right.
It's really cool. Shout out to the Stomp Records crew for, putting bands like this on.
Absolutely.
This is a band from Burlington. And love to see, talented guys like this getting success.
Hell yeah.
Friends of the show, Ottawa Southern Fried Metalcore band, The Sink. They put out a new single in celebration of playing with our favorite supergroup, Better Lovers. We're playing with them on July 25th. So by the time you're hearing this, that show has well been played.
Oh, it was amazing.
I'm sure the venue is an absolute ruin.
Yes.
And
were you there? I was there.
Were you in Ottawa for this?
Yeah.
Wait. This song was cool. These guys have always reminded me of Every Time I Die, but there's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
No.
Big metaphorical lyrics, super southy guitar, really like chaotic, again, almost like circusy lead on this song.
Yeah.
At points. I don't know. I get a good vibe from these guys. I like the music they put out. I think the songwriting is absolutely stellar.
Yeah.
The dudes in this band just seem to be super talented. And if they're playing songs like this live, they must be a very, very tight band. So, and to have, if Better Lovers wants to play a show with you, that's a ringing endorsement.
Absolutely.
Shout out The Sink. Congratulations on getting booked on such an awesome show. And please drop more songs for us.
Next up, we have Union Sons with their single Pretty Face. This was awesome. This is Johnny D,
Very unexpected.
who is a friend of the show, plays in Gordon Bombay, played in a band not too long ago, Shot Down Twice. This was awesome. This was like Aerosmith core.
ZZ Top. Jane's Addiction.
Like very rock. Like you could play this for your dad and you'd be like, I haven't heard this song before. Who's this? And like you could totally sell it on him on a band that he's never heard before, like from that era. This was super cool. You never really hear. That's what I love about Johnny. And I mentioned about it when he was on the podcast is he's just a songwriting machine. He can play metal. He can play drums, guitar, bass. He can sing. He's done the karaoke nights where he is like hosting and emceeing. The guy just knows music. And the fact that he sent this my way and we, got right into it. This was awesome. I loved this.
Yeah, again. Sounds like Aerosmith. Like this is like some old school rock and
roll. Yacht rock.
Yeah, this is some pure love of the game stuff.
Yeah.
And like again, in a genre of music that like I wouldn't go out of my way to listen to. I enjoyed hearing this. It reminded me of like that feeling like when you would like discover a song on like Guitar Hero that you never thought you'd like.
Yeah,
and all of a sudden you love like this song by The Sleeping,
or
like,
The Priestess or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
like you're playing like a Baroness song suddenly. You're listening to it in your own time.
Yeah,
like it's that sort of thing where it's like without this podcast, like I wouldn't.
We're blessed.
I wouldn't have been exposed to this like just cool ass like classic rock thing.
So shout outs to you for making rad music.
This was awesome.
Lastly, we have Ethereal Tomb with their song When the River's Dry. This is their single coming up with a new EP that they're putting out. This band blends in hardcore and doom perfectly. Something like Acacia Strain, but like just with that gain turned up a little bit more
fuzz.
So like you get in that element of the doom rock, but like you could very well see Acacia Strain playing the exact same song with a different tone, and it can be a completely different sound. But this band has managed to hone in that perfect balance of hardcore and doom. And this track is like punishing. This is great. It's got the very catchy riff that keeps on coming back, and you can keep headbanging. And I have yet to see these folks live because I really want to catch them. But what I've seen of their live shows is they put on a hell of a show, and it's just like a party.
Ultra heavy again. Yeah, it reminds me of like early Acacia that like when they were they've kind of gone full circle back into like a doomy sort of band.
Yeah.
I could go all day about that band, but this is about Ethereal Tomb. Also, shout out to that Pokemon flyer they had.
Versus like, Astral Tomb.
This band could have been farting into mics, and I would have liked them based on the flyer alone. But unfortunately, it was not farting into mics. It was some crushing doomcore. And super awesome. You're exactly right. This is like Acacia Strain with like the fuzz channel turned up to 11.
Yeah.
And I'll take it. I'll take it any day. And as far as you explained to me too, these guys are really like, their lyrics are like meaningful. This is like politically charged, like again, like pissed off, but like with a meaning. Yeah.
This is some indigenous folks, and they're talking about some really important stuff, and it's great to see that like that is present in our local community.
Yeah, no, it's important to talk about. And again, like we were kind of talking about it before, and I'm really not the one to speak on it, nor educated enough on the topic to really get into it properly. But what I know about Canada's entire relationship with Indigenous people is that it's just like shut up and don't think about it. And it's really unfortunate, and I don't agree with that at all. So we should, face our shit.
I'm here with my co-host Ty and my homie fucking Bunyan. Well,
Bunyan, yeah.
Bunyan, yeah. And we're all old friends. We go back quite a bit, and we had a guest lined up for today, and it fell through. And Bunyan was coming over anyway, so we figured we'd just chat and talk and
kick it.
Here we are. This is what we're doing. So, thank you for joining us on the pod.
So we're going to get into a little bit of Better Lovers news. I had you listen to the EP. Was that yesterday? I got you to check it out. What'd you think? I'd like to hear a fresh take on someone's...
So, like, within 10 seconds, I think I paused it and then just, like, was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, I need to, like, fucking prepare. Like, I was just like, this is going to be just, like, some music to listen to.
Just a little bit of music.
And I'm like, oh, my God, dude, I actually want to, like, fucking listen to this.
Yeah.
So... It just, like, within the first 10 seconds, it was so good. I think I messaged you during the second song, and then during that.
Yeah, you were just sending me lyrics.
Yeah,
straight up.
Yeah, dude. No, it was so good.
I know.
But 13 Under 30.
Hell yeah.
It's
That
like
song.
right after the intro riff. There's like a super eated, like southern fucking. Oh, dude!
I said the exact same thing when we.
Yeah, it was
just the way it
so
hits.
fucking good. Like and you know what? I'm very much. I like my hardcore to be hardcore. I like my metal to be metal, and Etid's always been that one band for me that I could listen to that didn't have that genre defining thing going on. They just kind of fucking rode the vibes and made sounds and made good sounds. And this was totally like that. I was like, oh man, this is fucking sweet. And then it was, yeah, I mean, bands that do that are just always phenomenal to me. Sinner, for example, Teeth.
Yeah.
That we're gonna go watch tonight.
Yeah.
They don't let themselves be put in a box. So you get a little bit of a fucking more hardcore song. You get a little bit of more southern song. You get a song that has a little more heart to it. Maybe one song's really lyrically based. Maybe one song has like 10 words in the whole fucking song. And I love that shit. But no, yeah, the whole album was just fucking just driving force of just like fun, but like purposeful fucking sounds.
Yeah.
It was fucking cool.
Are you familiar with what's going on with the brothers?
Somewhat, I know there's sourness. There's
They broke up kind of on a sour note,
Like,
and
it
this
was-
is Jordan's new band.
Yeah, so obviously there's talent abound. So for me, I think that Etid would have just kept making Etid music.
Of course.
For the next fucking, 10 years probably at least? Like, they were a machine, right?
Yeah.
Shit like this is cool when it happens. It sucks at the time being because, like, oh man, my favorite band. But, like, we're going to get, like, 3 bands out of this.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the exciting
Like,
part. Yeah.
What's his face is making the fucking we're going to touch more on this in a bit, right? But what's his face is making
Andy?
that power.
Yep.
He's making that power violence
Yeah.
band.
Yeah,
You
so
told me
we-
about that today. My head just blew up. I'm like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I need
we-
more power violence in my life.
So-
And there's like we don't know anything about that other than the tweet, right?
So we came out with the episode of us putting together like a
Keith supergroup.
like a Keith supergroup final like like a fantasy football kind of thing.
Okay,
like
yeah.
just like kind of
You
like
drafted it.
yeah, just like
That's sweet.
just trying to think of like a something that'd be awesome. And shortly after that, we put that out.
Thank you for checking that one out, by
yeah,
the way.
thank
That's
you,
been our
everyone.
most successful video.
Thank you so much.
Awesome, guys. Great.
So this is exclusively a Better Lovers channel now.
That's amazing.
Shortly after that happened, Better Lovers played their first show in Buffalo, and Andy came out and did a speech and kind of contextualized where he stood as far as the drama went. And we're gonna watch that right now, and then we can we can talk about it just shortly after.
Very special day today. Very special day today. How many people here have been in a room with me just like this? A lot of people. A lot of feelings. The last 23 years, we had a lot of feelings together, right? We've mourned people, we've mourned deaths. We have been happy together, we've been sad together. Like, we've felt so much together. The last time we were all in the room together, we didn't know we were going to be mourning. And now we have a band that's coming to take that away. We don't need to think about that. That was something in the past. It was rad. We had a great time. We had a fucking great time. Okay? One thing that doesn't happen in that world is a resurrection where a band kicks fucking ass after a band kicked ass. Now we have the ability to have a new favorite band. We have the ability to follow this band and feel everything again. So please, guys, please be present today and understand that we are watching something very special. 3 of my best friends are about to come up here and destroy you guys. I'm so happy I could be here for it. I love them to death. And I'm going to let you know something. The 3 people from that last band that are on this stage right now are the ones that gave a fuck about you guys.
Yes, that was super cool. I mean, he
It's emotional.
So emotional.
There's a moment where he goes like, "My friends are gonna come out and destroy you," and he's crying, and it's just
tears
such a
welling.
funny sentence to say. Like, I'm
Through
going to
tears,
destroy you. Yeah, through tears.
I always forget how fucking imposing of a human being.
He's
absolutely.
crazy, eh?
Mustache
He's big.
alone.
Do you
Mustache,
watch the wrestling he does, the A&E wrestler? Because he's like a regular.
I see pictures and clips of it just because following like E-Tid and stuff.
Yeah, in the
Instagram's
same
pretty
way.
clever like
Yeah.
that, right?
Yeah.
But no, I haven't seen a ton of it. Now I want to watch a little bit of it more.
I actually had the pleasure of seeing Andy wrestle live during one of the because Haley and I used to go to the Christmas shows all the time,
Right,
especially the last
right.
couple of years. Which sucks because the last one they put on was their last show. That's what he was talking about. Last
yeah.
time we were together, we didn't know we were gonna
Mourn together.
Yeah, mourn. So I didn't go to that one because like COVID was still and I think a lot of people caught COVID from that show.
I bet you they did.
Yeah,
Little bit
but
of a breeding pool.
yeah, like so there was one year they set up wrestling and he did like a whole wrestling match and I saw him put people through tables. It was amazing. It was great. But yeah, he implied during that speech that like these three people were the only people that gave a shit about the band, which kind
These
of
are the ones who did.
it implies that Keith, or at least by the end of the band, stopped giving a shit about the band, which happens when
it's interesting to think about Andy saying that because Andy doesn't come across as the type of person who would say something like that unless he really truly believed that. That's not when you've been in a band with someone for over 20 years, that's a pretty wild thing to say. Like, hey, this guy didn't really give that much of a shit about you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's
and
heavy.
as a fan of Keith for
heavy.
the last 20 years. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I just thought about it for a second. I'm like, oh, like,
To
so
just
it's
come out and say it to all those
like
people.
my favorite
and-
vocalist doesn't give a shit about me.
Yeah.
So he must mean that. I mean, that he must have said something to make him say that.
It's
Or
interesting.
multiple things to put him in that position where he just feels like he needs to maybe if you really like think he gave a shit about you. No, it was these guys that gave
It's
a shit
been
about
such
you.
a hard thing for me to wrap my head around because again, I brought it up on the last episode. It was like Keith like openly got sober. He
Yeah.
openly like he very clearly had an alcohol problem for a very
Right.
long time. He got clean and it just like after that there was this crazy back and forth about how like he was saying that like the members of the band like didn't respect his sobriety and then he was almost like if I recall correctly, like implying that Jordan had bad, like sort of like not so human rightsy, you know,
Yeah.
like political beliefs and stuff. Like just a lot of weird stuff went down. It's just again so hard to see someone go through like a sobriety journey and end up alienating everyone and like losing everyone in the process. It's just exactly the opposite of what you want to see when something like that happens.
No, yeah.
Really weird.
So we're all waiting for the next move of Keith. We're all waiting to see what he
Bated
does.
breath.
And again, we don't know if he does. Maybe he doesn't.
Well, maybe he doesn't do anything.
That's it. Maybe that is the move by Keith. Maybe
Which isn't a bad move.
not saying that we need a band from him, but we're like, is that his move? Is like that's where we're at.
Sounds like he needs some time for him.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to say the least.
Yeah, and
I
I
think-
mean, in the meantime, though, I think that Better Lovers is like, I think again what Andy said about, like, this really is like the first time I felt like that, like almost teenage excitement for a band again, where I'm like, oh shit, like give me more.
Their
Like,
first show, yeah.
Yeah, like I don't like there's so many bands where it's like I hear about a band and you know they already have I find them on Spotify and they already have an EP out or an album out, you know what I mean? Like this like we got to see this from the beginning and even the way Andy conveyed the message in that interview is like understanding that this isn't just a band. Like this is the type of band that has like a fan base that becomes like family to the band, to each other. Like it's I think there's a lot of fan bases that go deep and you'll always have like everything has a hardcore fan, but there's something special about a band like Every Time I Die and the sort of vibe that brings.
Yeah, and it's
with it.
obviously upsetting the way that it went down, but you can tell and that he implied by that speech is like, yeah, we're all kind of as upset about it, but like here's something we can all get
Yeah,
excited
be present
about.
is
like,
what he said.
like
don't ask them to play an Every Time I Die song tonight.
No,
Like,
yeah.
That's the past.
Don't
this
ask
is now.
about shit happens. Like, don't ask about Keith. That's for sure.
Just be present.
Just be present and
Be
be
excited
like,
for
this is
something
the
new.
first Better Lovers show. And then 8 years go around and be like, I was at that show. And instead of you having to be like all these thoughts about the last band that they were in, you can look back on it fondly and be like, they crushed it. They played a Soundgarden song, right?
Yeah,
It was
so
a Soundgarden that they played?
Yeah, they do a Soundgarden
Yeah.
cover. I think it's Rusty Cage.
Rusty Cage. Yeah.
So sick.
Great song.
Yeah.
So
It's cool.
Shout out Rusty Cage. Shout out Better Lovers. Honestly.
Shout for real. Yeah, no.
Like, that and the way he said it, like, this is our chance to heal.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, everyone needs a chance to heal. Everyone's got shit they're going through. We get badass music out of it. That's fucking sweet.
And these are musicians. This is some of this, like, they've been doing it for so long. It's the only thing
what
they know how
just
to
went
do.
Through. Imagine the fucking music they're gonna make.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's gonna
exactly.
be incredible.
Yeah. There's
Pain,
going to be.
pain and that shit makes good music.
It
and
does.
and even maybe the feeling of like again, I find that like the instrumentals in Better Lovers, they definitely sound like Jordan. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
But can you imagine like the sort of like you've been in Every Time I Die for like 20 plus years, and I think even just having a couple new members and a name change and a fresh, like a fresh face of paint on it has probably reinvigorated his love for making music so much, as like similar with sort of like the way Chris from Teeth has talked about starting Teeth with Blake, was like this idea of just like
Step one.
yeah, just wanting to re-begin and re-envelop yourself in the craft of heavy music.
Well, you imagine being in a band so long, and I can even relate to this point. You look back on some of the choices and career things that you've done, and you go like, oh, I wish. In hindsight, we probably could have done this, and it would have been this. Or in hindsight, we could have done this. And being able to hit the reset button with that knowledge in mind, like, you're virtually unstoppable.
Yeah, it reminds me of the movie Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. You know what I mean? Where it's like, we all wish we could live in a world where it's like, if I could, like, I'd be cool with this if I could just erase like this block from this moment, and if I could just have this person forget this moment from this, like. And again, yeah, it's just that sort of feeling that I think no matter how happy and well-adjusted you are, I think everyone every now and then has that feeling of like, what if I could just wake up somewhere completely new, no one knows me, no one knows anything about me, and I'm fully in control of my reinvention. And I think they get to do that sonically with a dedicated, passionate fan base. So
Yeah, people that are already ready to hear it, people that know it's coming, people that are waiting for it, people that are anticipating it, and it's like, they're not going to be able to get too far away from what they already sound like, because they've got a pretty cemented sound and they've got the way they play. But like you said, it's a chance to reinvent, so we might get some really cool, interesting new sounds out of them. I mean, I'm excited.
And we briefly touched on it, but yeah, Andy just announced that he is putting together a power violence band.
Oh, I'm so excited.
yeah, it was a tweet he put out.
It was
right?
a tweet. It was very ominous.
Yeah, we'll definitely throw that on screen. I wonder, he was talking about making music with Rat Boy too, so it's hard to picture Rat Boy being in, I mean, times change, right? But I remember the story of Rat Boy back in the day was he wanted to take the band on a slightly more poppy route during the like Gutter Phenomenon days.
Yeah.
And apparently that's when they started to butt heads with him.
Okay.
Was he wanted to do more songs that sounded like The New Black, which is a great song, you know what I mean? But Every Time I Die is so much more than a band that puts out songs like The New Black.
Yes, yeah,
like
yeah.
that is
absolutely.
great song, but they're a band that just has so many great songs. So
And only time will tell to see where this ends up.
yeah,
No,
but
I'm
that
excited.
song was in Guitar Hero too. So shout out to them.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
You
They
know
were in
what? So
Guitar-
obviously-
Jordan Buckley was in Guitar Hero.
Obviously, Rat Boy had some vision there. He probably, I don't know if he saw a bag that he wanted to grab with his homies. You know what I mean? Like, let's make bag grabbing music.
Bag grabbing music.
Yeah.
But like, they're
It's the name of my new
kind of
record
grabbed
label.
some bags anyways and had a lot of fun. I think they made music that was a lot more like A New Black is not a forgettable song because you know it, but you know it because you played so many times.
Yeah.
It's not your favorite song.
No.
It's no one's favorite
Well,
song.
I've always even said that the Big Dirty is just Gutter Phenomenon, but evil.
Yeah.
Southern.
Which is great.
Yeah, well, and just so evil
It's the
sounding too.
yeah.
Because Gutter Phenomenon is southy, but the Big Dirty is like riding through the South and just like picking on people. Like it's just like it's a
Yeah.
mean
He's got that
fucking
one
record.
song where
yeah.
he's talking to like, me and my girl just stole your cigarettes.
Man, all of imitation is the sincerest form of battery.
Yeah.
Like it's just
one's No
it's
Son
a
of Mine.
it's a mean record.
Yeah.
Pigs is pigs.
But like it's all like Southern. Like it feels like it's about like you just grew up in like Southern Louisiana.
yeah,
like,
if Gutter Phenomenon is like the South, like sitting like on a nice porch and having like a glass of sweet tea with your gran, the Big Dirty is God. I had the analogy. Come on, Tyler. Oh, it was there. It's leaving. If that's
Deliverance.
It's no. It's seriously. It's. I hope they make more music like the Big Dirty.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're definitely channeling more of the South in Better Lovers than they were.
I think we get one
near
good
the end of E-Tid's career.
angry album out of them because they're mad about what happened. They're sad about what happened. You know?
Oh well, the EP's pissed off. I think that it's going to stay pretty angry.
Yeah.
And Bunyan, and we'll explain why he's called that. Well, I guess he'll explain because I don't truly understand.
Well, you're
I
the
know
one that
I
gave
was
me the
there,
name.
but it doesn't make it make sense.
It doesn't make sense to me either.
You guys don't remember?
You were my first. You were the reason
What?
I hung out with all these people. It's
No,
kind of
I-
perfect. You know what I mean? And then you just were. So
I remember when the moment Paul Bunyan was created because you were like
we were out.
you were
front of,
you were
I don't
really
know,
drunk.
we
and
could
you-
was
set
it
it-
Rockford's?
yeah.
Was
So-
it Rockford's always? What was before Rockford's?
So before that, okay.
It was before Rockford's. It was-
Before you started hanging out, we hung out with somebody else. I just won't mention names because there's a lot of people involved with this. I just won't mention names. We hung out with another person who you had dated their ex, and they were pretty actively didn't like you, and they were.
I know who this is. Yeah,
you know what I
go
mean.
on.
They were always talking shit, and they're always just saying like, "Don't hang out with this guy." And then I think you actually approached him and was like, there's no animosity, like. I'm dating your ex, but like I think he may have started dating somebody at the time. It got blown over pretty quick. I think you had just had one conversation with this person and they were like, all right, we're good. And this was like the first time you were I think this is like the first time you came out and partied with us. It was just like, I feel like maybe
Yeah,
we
that
had
makes
like
sense.
crossed paths at parties, like people had brought, but this is like, all right, we're going out together the first time.
Yeah, well, because he like Kyle lived like a 5-minute walk away from me, and we were just kind of like somewhat aware of each other, and we
I don't even know. Like it's
I think
somehow,
I believe we may have been trying to get some illicit materials together,
and they were selling mystery pills.
we can't. Yeah, oh my god. Yeah, you're right. You're right. And we just got scammed. We bought like vitamins off a dude. Thinking
almost
we were getting drugs,
positively just
basically.
vitamins in a pill.
It was like nothing. I remember
Really?
looking,
Yeah.
and I remember us looking at each other being like, you know what? I think it's working. No.
Oh no!
It was so bad. But yeah, like, so Kyle just
That's
kind
the
of like,
placebo effect.
yeah, Kyle
too.
just kind of lived around me and
Literally, like I lived on Wallace, you lived on
like,
Flower.
yeah, Flower
And
Street.
it was literally like there was a street in between us. We were like we all backed up onto West.
and I was like,
West Hill.
I'm a reach. Let's see what this
Yeah,
is.
we all backed up onto the West Park property. There was like one street that ran this way behind, or maybe not even. They might have all just dumped out onto the property. I can't remember, but yeah, it was so close. And I don't even know, like, because if you ask, like Walt and Vrab and them how I came about, I just woke up on their couch one day after a party.
You know what though?
That was like
that was kind of like how like me and Phil have known each other since being kids, but like I just kind of woke up on Breezy's couch with my eyebrows shaved once, and I was just
Yeah.
sort of inundated into like that group of friends after that.
Yeah, I didn't leave for like the weekend. They were pulling a Thermonday, which was involving certain illicit materials.
You know when you would like take like mushrooms and you feel that like moment where it sort of like goes boop.
The
You're like-
euphoria. So the right before you actually get stoned off the mushrooms, like you get that euphoria feeling. Same thing happens with acid. And you
I
feel
describe it
you're-
as like things just feel like brighter and
yeah,
sharper all
yeah.
of a sudden.
It's because you're not like tripping yet, but your body is like starting to react. Same thing happens with acid. And you
And
literally-
5-hour energy.
You literally you're just like, I could do anything. I could do anything I ever wanted to. I could probably solve algebra. I hated algebra.
Have you done any of the microdosing with mushrooms?
No, but funny story. I have a really funny story. So, Sky, the wife's friend, has this chocolate bar, right? She's like, I'm going to microdose. She eats a square. This guy's like, oh, I ate a whole row and it did nothing. So she's like, well, I want to feel a little something. So she's like, I'll eat two rows.
Okay.
And then she's like, well, now I'm not even microdosing. I might as well just muck the bar.
Yeah.
She mucks the bar, right? Like 7 minutes or something later, she gets a call from her friend. Hey, I'm in a position. I need to ride. Without even thinking about it, keys. Gets out. She's like, hey, guys, I'll be right back. We think she's going outside for a smoke. Calls us. I won't name names, but calls us. She's like, guys, I forgot I did mushrooms and I'm in the car now.
Oh
she's
my
like,
God.
I just had to call so-and-so to tell them I'm not coming. And she's like, the rain, and it was raining, of course. It starts raining. She's like, the rain's making fractals off the windshield. She's like, I think I'm going about 15 kilometers an hour, but I'm too scared to look down.
Oh my
She's
God.
like, people are honking at me. Barely made it home. Parks, like, just leaves her car in the middle, because we live in a complex, right? So just leaves her car kind of just there. She's like, walks in. She's like, got this big cheesy grin on her face. She's like, you gotta park it for me, man. Hilarious. Completely forgets she did 3.5 grams of mushrooms.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
7 minutes later, yeah, I'll be right there.
Yeah. Well, part of the reason, like the trouble with that is it's in chocolate. Chocolate tastes good. You normally eat a full chocolate bar, or I could still like you get hungry, you eat fucking the whole thing. You don't. Yeah. So
or even just because it tastes good.
Yes, that's what I mean.
Why not?
Yeah. So you haven't done any of the microdosing? Like,
no, I haven't. No, I had my last experience with hallucinogens has kind of just scared me off. I was with Coleman, Pouliot, and
this had to have been a decade ago.
Oh, this is so long ago. This was at Pouliot's house beside the native housing.
Yeah,
just
right
down
over
the
by
road.
the beer store.
Man, and
That
his house had a face, and it was so disturbed with me. It didn't want me to come inside. I went in anyways, and then I watched a movie on a picture for like 2 hours. Yeah, it was pretty wild. And
you
then
unpack that sentence.
Pouliot had a friend over, and the vibes weren't there, dude. And I just had a horrible trip for like the next.
That happened a lot with
8
Pouliot's
hours.
friends, eh?
He just had this
Pouliot
guy
had a lot
over,
of friends where the vibe really wasn't
guy
there.
was
Place had a
just-
weird energy.
Yeah, this guy was just like. He was just like in your face, and then he was over here, and he was just like looking at me, and he was like, "You okay, man?" And I'm like, "No, don't ask me that."
You know what? Now that I think about it, every time Pouliot had someone at his house who wasn't like associated with our friend group, they were fucking crazy. Like straight up crazy people.
Yeah.
Like I don't think he had a normal friend out. Who found
He lived
M.
on my street.
Pouliot, we'll say.
He lived on my street.
It was you?
Yeah, he was my name.
You unleashed him?
I brought in the worst people.
You brought in a diverse crowd, from what I can gather, because I started hanging out a little bit later, right? So
Right.
We'll get into that.
It was a diverse crowd, but I didn't know who brought in what. There was just everyone.
Yeah,
right?
that's
So-
true. You didn't have the
but-
context of
I just
like,
kind
I had
of
almost zero
brought friends
context.
together. I was just like, hey, I smoke weed. These people smoke weed. Let's all smoke
Yeah.
weed.
Wasn't it kind of your basement as well?
Yeah.
that brought people together.
Yeah, it
for
was like a
bit?
big
For a while,
sanction.
yeah.
Like it
People
was like a
probably started
hub.
it was
getting
like,
their
and then
own places.
Pouliots, and then like there was Breezy's, which was like not crazy Pouliots, like chill Pouliots, basically. Like going to Breezy's felt safe and
Pouliot
good,
light.
and like you
Because they
weren't
didn't
gonna,
pull up with shit. Like if you started,
you weren't gonna
pulling
run into
some
a
shit.
full menace.
Yeah,
Like,
although we did with fucking kitchen moshes
oh my god,
in his kitchen.
Yeah, that's cool. Kitchen moshes are fun though.
Yeah.
kitchen moshing
Up
was,
north moshes are also fun.
Oh, up north
were the
moshes.
best.
Did you ever make it up north?
I never ended up going. I was like,
That's fair.
I was starting to like really drink around then.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Yeah, I think we made multiple attempts to get you up there.
Randy, I
Shout
love
out
Randy.
fucking
All
Randy.
right, there you go.
Shout out Randy. Yeah, Randy and me once saw each other downtown outside of L3, and I was like pointed at him, and I was like, I'm gonna kick your fucking ass. And then there was like Joey and like a bunch of Randy's friends were like, no, you're not, dude. And I was, that's too many guys. One time I saw him across from the whole Lakeside Park in Porto. I was on the side with the washrooms and the snack stand. He was on the side with the carousel all the way across the grass.
Yeah.
And we're like, we're shouting at each other, fuck you, man, whatever. I can't remember if I was with our mutual love, who's now both our mutual ex at the
Yeah,
time.
yes.
But obviously I was with her at the time. He wasn't. He was recently with her. And then what a weird situation. Now we're like fucking best friends.
Yeah.
Lived with each other for years.
So then,
Yeah.
So we brought you out to a bar,
Yeah.
and we went out to Rockford's,
That's where it was. Yeah.
which was with Detour, and now I don't even know what it is.
Yeah, I have no idea.
It's all a blur to me.
And we all, and I think it was like a DJ night that maybe Coleman and Corey were doing. It
I'm
was
gonna say it was probably them, or just because that was where we went all
Punk
the
night
time.
that maybe Breezy was putting on or
Yeah, he did
something.
those.
Nights
something
we
like
used to
that.
do all the time at L3.
Yeah.
It was something.
Some sort
adjacent
of
to one of
night,
those
right?
scenarios.
So we got out, and we all got wasted. So they're like we all got trashed,
buckled.
But then I vividly remember we're all still like on St. Paul Street. They got this cement barriers, and like we're all just chilling there. And you told us the story of Paul Bunyan.
Okay, yes. So I was definitely here for this.
Yeah.
I love that story. I don't know why. It's just such a
And
stupid, awesome
Your
story.
body was animating every word.
Yeah.
Like it's like watching someone lose control. I was in a detox before, and they brought in a guy who was severely fucked on meth, and his name was Bam Bam. I'll go on about this in a bit.
Bam Bam. Shout out Bam Bam.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Quick side story for Bam Bam. Bam Bam, we were all sitting on the couches. Bam Bam is a severe meth addict. He has a pacemaker in because he exploded his heart doing meth. And then
That's pretty badass.
they brought him back in on meth with a pacemaker. Like, yo, Bam Bam's a crazy motherfucker.
Damn,
And
that's wild.
we were sitting there, and Bam Bam was talking to this other guy, and Bam Bam was like, yo, I used to be like 350 pounds. And the dude he was talking to was like, oh, what happened?
What happened, bro? Did you hit the Jenny 20?
Yeah.
Did you have success with Weight
I
Watchers?
think it was the meth, buddy.
Yeah.
I think it might have been the meth, buddy.
Uppers. It's a lot of uppers.
No, but yeah, you like.
so-
But when they brought Bam Bam in, they had to like rearrange. He couldn't stay in like the detox beds. They had to rearrange like the living room area because he literally couldn't control his body, and he was like getting up and flailing and throwing himself. Like and then I was like asking like the guys, like I'm like, what is he doing? And they're like, no, he has no control over that anymore. Like, and not like he's acting insane. Like his body is doing that, and his mind doesn't want it to. Like, and I'm like, oh. Wow, I'm glad. Holy shit.
Dear
okay.
God.
And
That's intense.
in that moment, the way it was like you had
channeled Bam
You
Bam.
had channeled Bam Bam and Paul Bunyan at the same time. And you were throwing yourself around, telling me this nonsensical story about a mythical ox and like.
Oh, yeah,
why don't
named
you tell the audience the story of Paul Bunyan?
So Paul Bunyan, it's more or less just a wild American story about how like the rivers and the land and everything got shaped, and it's this lumberjack whose story's tall. Like he's fairy tale creature tall, and he has this blue ox named Babe.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was so badass. I'm like, he's just a lumberjack.
Yeah.
He doesn't have any superpowers other than the fact that he's just
He doesn't have any superpowers.
he's just huge. But they say he created the land, so him and Babe like the
I always say that about my doctor, by the way.
The rivers were all pinned straight, right?
Yeah.
And him and Babe were like, nah, man. So they made them all curve around. So they
Nice.
pulled the rivers. You know what I mean?
Right.
And all these just wild stories.
Yeah.
I might even be getting that backwards. He might have taken the curvy rivers and made him straight, for all I fucking know. But honestly, it was just wild. It was
Yeah,
this cool
yeah.
story. And every time I got drunk, I got all hyped up.
landscaper.
As soon as someone got me going on it, yeah, it was just a good
So this was like
story.
a reoccurring thing you'd bring
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
And then you started yelling. I remember this specifically because we were standing outside, and it's kind of like there was like you said, the barrier. It
Yeah.
was the barrier, and then it had like a little circular right in front of Rockford.
Yeah.
Was one of the dips.
Yeah.
And
Right.
you could all gather nicely in there.
Yeah.
And people would sit and whatever. And you were like, Paul Bunyan, onion.
Yes. Onion.
That's what you kept yelling.
Onion.
Paul Bunyan. Onion. And
Onion.
obviously you were pretty gone, so you started like You were broken recording it.
Yeah.
You were pretty gone.
And then
So you
I
were-
remember you doing it too.
And then I started doing it. And then we walked together like hand in hand over that bridge that now has like the huge thing on it. We walked hand in hand and we were like, Paul Bunyan, fucking onion, bro.
That's so good.
And then that
stuck.
was pretty much cemented me as like
Bunyan.
a new crew
Yeah.
member
For
and
years,
as Bunyan.
like we'd introduce him to new people as Bunyan.
It's Bunyan.
Like, it
well,
was-
there's people that only know me as Bunyan.
that's amazing.
There's
to think
people
about.
that don't know me as anything else, right? Like
they assume must be your last name or like.
my
I looked for Kyle Bunyan.
My
Couldn't
own
find him.
brother has called me Bunyan before.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's someone that knew me as Kyle for 20
His whole
Pretty
life.
much
19,
your
20
whole-
years as, whatever, minus the however many years he wasn't born.
Yeah.
So I'm Bunyan to a lot of people. You know what I mean? So that was pretty cool. But then after a while, I'm like, no, I have a name, and it's like useful to use at certain times.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
I had to try and start like switching it up.
Yeah.
But no, I didn't. I was Bunyan.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
Bunyan.
Right.
So many
Well, because
people.
the best nickname is a nickname
On
that,
your
like,
resume.
you don't really.
Imagine.
Yeah, you don't get, like, it's the worst thing you can do is give yourself your own nickname, right?
Yeah.
And you definitely, like, you didn't do that.
Yeah.
You were just telling a story.
Yeah,
and,
it just happened.
and you organically became Bunyan in that movie.
you told people to call me that for a while.
There it is.
And then
That's
it
your-
fucking stuck really hard because people were like, it's easy to say, it rolls off the tongue.
So,
Too many Kyles,
and it
one
came
Bunyan.
with a story. It came with a story.
yeah. So as soon as Tyler said, like, yeah, Bunyan's like down to come on the show, I was like, great. He's such an interesting person. You used to live in Africa.
I was born in South Africa.
You were born
Yeah.
in South Africa.
Yeah, born in South Africa. I'm Boer, which is like Dutch farmers that more or less came to Africa and just, it wasn't super nice what they did.
Sure.
They took up and then, we're going to take some of these farms for ourselves, right?
Yeah,
They started
right.
kicking people's asses and telling people what to do.
Yeah.
Not so great, right? They had big long guns. The natives were fucking scared.
Like
of
the
them.
elephant guns, like the.
Yeah, long guns they were called, literally. Right?
Okay.
So that's my heritage on that side. My mom is like French, English, very European.
Right.
And she's from actually St. Catharines. She was born in the General Hospital.
Okay.
And my dad was born in the same hospital I was overseas, same as my brother.
Yeah.
And then we moved here because the house got broken into something like 5 times within a period of 7 years from the first to the last.
Really?
break-in.
That's wild.
So that's like, I mean, my house has never been broken into once in Canada.
Yeah.
Any of the houses I've lived in.
Right.
Oh, that's not true. That's not true because that house we lived in.
York.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got broken into.
That was like police were involved and stuff. That was the situation.
You didn't hear about that.
It was like a attempted robbery and stuff.
Wait, how dire did this get? Were you guys like home when it happened?
I wasn't, and neither the people.
Was someone home?
Joe
Randy.
kicked some fucking ass, and Randy got
Joe
shot in the head with a BB gun.
They tried to rob you guys with a BB gun.
But it was
yeah,
a gun.
but it was a
so you didn't
good-looking
know
BB
it
gun.
was.
It was a
They-
good-looking BB
They
gun.
spray paint or they get rid of the orange tip.
Yeah, they get
And
the
sorry,
tip.
who got hit in the head? Randy?
Randy got shot. in the
So
head.
Ran-
Thought he-
so
Randy
for a
thought he got
millisecond,
shot.
Randy thought he had been shot in the head.
100%
He's
dude.
like, I'm taking this shockingly well.
Yeah. No, apparently he was freaking out, but he like
Well,
pulled a
yeah.
knife on them and everything out of his room because everyone was just kind of, everyone was just like room chill there, and then
Yeah.
like kind of come out to like vibe like. It was like a student house, but everyone was best friends.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So there
yeah.
was like a common area. So they
This was
came
the
in.
house I stayed at.
They
for a
came
bit
in.
a few years ago,
They
right?
They came in.
Okay, yeah.
They wanted to buy weed. The person who obviously sold the weed wasn't home, so someone kind of stepped in and said, "Well, we know what to do."
Yeah, yeah.
They knew everything was. There were certain people that
Right.
were allowed to do it.
For sure.
Whether we want to include this name or not, it was actually that went into the room and closed the door. No, sorry, went into the room, left the door open, whatever. Chopped them, whatever, and then it was like they were like, close the door, and she's like, keep that door open. What are you doing? Keep that door open. We don't close the door.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't your house. And then they basically said like, we're gonna take a bunch of shit, and she was like, fuck no. Yelled for Joe. Joe, don't fuck with Joe, right? So Joe like beat the living shit out of these guys, kicked them all down the stairs basically.
what
But
the
as-
hell? I didn't know that.
Yeah, no. I
tackled them through like a banister like that, broke it clean off the ground, tackled them down. And,
Joe got that dog in him.
Yeah, so
Shout out Joe, by the way. I love Joe.
shout out Joe.
Joe.
Shout out
Holy
Joe.
shit.
Big time.
It's fucking awesome.
But yeah, so then they got their asses kicked out of the house, but in the fray, the one guy popped one of the BB rounds off and hit Randy square in the head.
so still could have like fucked his eye up or
Oh,
something.
dude, it could have taken an eye out.
That's
BB,
fine.
yeah.
Randy doesn't wear safety eyeglasses on the regular.
Well, especially when
He
you
wasn't,
get
he,
robbed.
wait, he wasn't wearing his safety goggles?
No,
Oh,
no.
it's Randy, I told you.
PPE, man. PPE is very important. So yeah, so it was really bad. But I think I was with. We don't have to include names.
Yeah.
But I was with, and we were somewhere else, very far away, possibly at a show in Toronto, and we couldn't come. We couldn't get there. We couldn't get there fast enough. We might have even been in Ottawa, man. Like
Damn.
5 hours away.
Damn.
So we were like very far away. We heard all the news. Obviously, they said it's kind of taken care of.
Yeah, there's nothing. Yeah.
So it all went to court. These people got charged, went to jail and stuff. And
Shit, really?
Yeah, like it was a fucking big deal.
Damn.
And the worst part was, it was our fucking neighbors.
Yeah.
They were associated with the neighbors that we loved so much.
This sucks.
Bunch of kids that were like foster kids and stuff. They lived with this
Homies.
foster. They always came over and bought like 5 pieces and stuff
Yeah.
and chilled. They thought we were cool as shit. They thought fucking man because
Yeah.
he skated and had mad tats and sold dope. Fucking, you know what I mean? Like these kids just looked up to us, and then they're like, they just said too much about us, and some Toronto fucking big brothers. And
True.
big
Yeah.
cousins and shit came
That
down.
happens.
Shit
Yeah.
was down.
So
sad.
it was because your house got broken into 5 different times.
Yeah, so backpedaling, South Africa, 5 times in 7 years, the house got broken into. I mean, we're talking like attempted like serious break-ins, like chasing people off or not being there when it happens.
Right.
My parents said, "This is enough.
Yeah.
We're done." So they basically went here on vacation the winter of '95 for
Okay.
like Christmas.
Yeah.
Came down here. My dad kind of scoped it out. He's like, "Yeah, let's fucking get out of here." So yeah, they uprooted their entire lives.
Nice.
Came to Canada,
Yeah.
and the rest is history.
Yeah.
They
95
came-
was a good year.
They came directly to St. Catharines, or
We lived on 3rd Street Louth.
Nice.
Septic tank and a tree house and a little rented property for
Nice.
a couple months.
I got
and
my
then-
N64 that Christmas.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
Yo, I got mine the next Christmas.
There you go. Yeah.
I got mine a Christmas for sure, but I don't remember which one. I remember getting the like green see-through Donkey Kong. Like,
I like how
themed
there was
one.
lots of tech back then that had that see-through.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah.
It wasn't just the N64. There's like Game Boys. The Mac had like see-through. Like that was a style.
should
Oh,
bring that
dude,
aesthetic
yeah.
back.
You know what I
it was
mean?
like, you can see everything inside. You
Yeah.
don't know what it does, but you
yeah,
can see it.
like see-through controllers.
Oh,
It
look
was
at that
just like
computer
a-
chip, man. Or is it that?
Oh,
all right, I think that's a computer chip. I can see it.
This is
either
just
way.
a podcast note, but every time we need to like bleep a name, we should just have like the sound from like the Shakira. Just every
Yeah.
time a name needs to be changed, it's Shakira.
just
Everyone
like
Shakira.
a default sound.
Just
Yeah.
that guy saying Shakira,
Leroy
Shakira.
Jenkins.
Yeah, just so a sound clip.
That's so long. Every single time.
Just Jenkins.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Leroy.
something. Someone saying their own
It's
name.
taking
Maybe
up like the whole sentence.
you have to start it so early that you lose some of the words.
You can tell
have no idea what anyone's
Still
saying.
talking like Jenkins. Leroy.
That'd be so funny. Yeah. So yeah, I moved here, and then I mean, it's just yeah. I guess the rest is
What,
history.
what
Super
do you
Canadian
remember
life.
about living in Africa?
Big gates in our. Oh, I got a badass story. So one time, this is like kind of I was 5, right?
Yeah.
So nothing really crazy enough in my brain that I remember, other than scraping like my whole finger off on the stucco wall once on my bike.
Okay.
But and I burnt my thumb with a lighter. So I got 3 solid memories from South Africa. that I
Okay.
can tell you right now. Burnt my thumb, fucking
All
scraped my
pain
finger off.
induced.
And then my dad, I just remember him driving his big fucking Honda Goldwing into like our gate opening at the front of our property, right? Electric gate, big spikes on top.
Yeah.
And my dad just like pulling the Goldwing in and just pitching it on its side, walking inside the house.
Really?
And later I found out the story about that. So he was driving down the road on his Goldwing, nice big bike. It had like it was really done. It was like an old man bike, right? It had the metal side bags
Yeah.
and stuff going on, a lot of stuff like that. And someone literally tried to like attack him in their car, and they were like
Holy
jamming
shit.
him like a movie.
Like Twisted Metal.
Yeah, and his shit was all falling off like as they were doing it, like breaking as he's on the motorcycle.
Yeah.
And he managed to get it home and escape them. I don't know if he kicked a mirror off or something. I
Wow.
can't remember the full story.
Yeah.
But I seem to remember
Mad
something
Max.
was hanging by some wires, like the saddlebag on the side was like hanging by the brake lights that would go through it. And it was just like a scene out of a movie. And I think, I don't know if it's ever been said to me, but I bet you that was one of the main reasons my dad
He was like,
Yeah.
all right, that's the
yeah,
line.
we could do Canada.
Do you like? Is there food that you miss that you had there? Is there like?
Yes.
Yes.
That didn't really find out about it until later on because we found it finally in Canada.
Oh, okay, interesting.
But we were without it for some time, and I know my dad, because he lived there until he was 29, 30, 29, so he would have been 35 when we got him here.
Yo, shut the fuck up.
That was pretty rude. whoever you are, if you want to be on the podcast, you'll have to sign up.
Yeah.
We need a disclosure signed. We need waivers signed. I can't have that.
So many waivers.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was a huge like life change for him. He came here, people were like treating him shitty. No one could understand us because we spoke Afrikaans.
Okay.
And I had like recently, my most recent like school experience was I was the only white kid in this little daycare.
Really?
It was like a preschool, like get you ready for school over there same type thing. But I was the only white kid. So I was like, had started to develop like a very heavy accent.
Oh, okay,
very
yeah.
heavy. You can imagine, you know, you can close your eyes and I could be any Afrikaans kid. Right?
Yeah. And then you come over here, you get canceled.
Come over here. No one can understand what I'm saying. No one can understand what I'm saying. I'm saying words like "ano." That's the word for a boo boo. And so they literally sent me first day of grade 1 or maybe second, because the first day they're like, oh, we don't know what he wants.
Yeah.
We can't understand anything he's saying. A list of words, and they were my slang as my baby slang.
Yeah.
Which was Afrikaans words.
Yeah.
And what they meant in English.
That's cool. So do you remember a bunch of them?
No, not a lot of them, but I know "ana."
Ana is a boo-boo.
That's the one. That's the one we always
That's
use.
what we
that
want to do the person outside.
That's the one. You say that to someone, they're like, "You got a what? What's going on with you, kid? That sounds possibly serious."
Yeah.
I have no idea. Is that food?
Yeah.
Are you sharing something with me?
It kind of sounds almost like a slur. Like,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
really catches your attention.
Yeah. So we've got like we're Canadian as fuck now, right?
Yeah, of course.
But my dad still got the accent. Right?
Yeah. Well,
He
you
went
don't
to-
lose it, right?
As long as wherever you go to school, if you finish high school somewhere, you're gonna get that accent. You're gonna keep it, right?
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
You don't. You learn still, but you don't go and do active like English classes where you're learning like
Right.
You more or less develop all
How
your
to-
phonetics,
yeah.
and by the end of high school, yeah.
That's crazy.
So yeah, we came here. We love it here. Obviously, my dad loves it. He's Canadian, as always will be.
Yeah.
And he's told some cool stories though. And recently we found out a story where there were some guys harassing my mom, and him and his buddies literally hopped in the back of a pickup truck with big long guns and like chased these guys down the street.
Damn.
And that was how you took care of shit over there.
Yeah.
You took care of business.
Was there any like animals you had to be like beware of?
There's a story I told
you-
for a good 11 years about elephants in our backyard. We used to tell this story. So you have to take shit, right? So you get out in the backyard, and you fucking check it out, right? Oh fuck, elephant! Mom, gun! Mom hands you the wrong gun. You fire one in the air, right? The elephants, they run, right? They're fucking scared of guns. Everyone is. They run. They know better. They run, and you get to that outhouse as fast as you can.
Yeah.
Squeeze that shit out, because you don't know who you've attracted, right? Who's
Right.
not scared of guns.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
People with guns. Maybe they're like gonna come fucking rob you now. They're like, maybe
Right.
that was his
They
last
hear a
round.
gunshot, they're worried.
So more or less, yeah, no, you just when you can get anyone going with stories of South Africa, but no, there wasn't a lot of animals. Like I think there was a story I tell where I was very closely bitten by like an alligator, but we were in a park, like a nature reserve.
that makes it
A nature
way more
reserve.
minor.
So we were in like a place
Small
where like,
alligator
it
bite.
was like African lion safari in Africa. It's
Sure.
the real deal,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So we were in like Kruger National Park, I believe,
Yeah.
which is like it's massive.
So you don't have like monkeys fucking with your cars.
No. We lived in the city. Like it was a mining community, so it was fairly well to do. My
Yeah.
mom was a bank manager. My dad was a heavy equipment mechanic.
Yeah.
So we had like city slicker jobs, right?
Yeah.
I was a little kid that looked like any little European kid, really.
Right. You mentioned the African lion safari, and I immediately remembered when I went, like the monkeys fucked with our cars
Dude,
the entire
I've never
time.
been.
I see. I've always wondered. I've never went to the
sounds
African
so
lion
fun.
safari, and I always wondered, like, how do you like not run over the animals? Like, don't you just like surely like per day a monkey is just crushed to shit there?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
There's no way. What are you
Imagine-
talking about? You can't just drive through that shit and not hit anything.
you leave with a monkey somehow by mistake. Like, what are the
On your
what's the logistics of getting it back to the African
You know what I
lion
would,
safari?
you know what I would love if in South Africa they had like
Canadian.
Southern Ontario safari and
Canadian
like
beavers.
you so like you're pretending you're going through like Hamilton, some guy's trying to rob you. You're like you gotta lock your
Yeah.
doors,
Oh,
like
yeah.
you gotta make sure.
You end up robbing him back to South African experience.
Yeah, you just This smells funny. Oh, that's piss. Like, yeah.
Oh, that's cat. That's all the cat.
You have to go to an Avondale and get your mom's smokes.
Yeah, exactly.
It smells like piss. Yeah. People live above this Avondale, don't they?
Yeah.
True story. That's the Avondale near my house, by the way. True story.
There you go. Shout out to that Avondale.
It's figure out the piss smell. Come on, guys.
Come on.
It's so fucking gross.
Let's figure it out.
The shout out to the Avondale near my house. No piss smell.
I'm gonna start going to that Avondale.
You should. Let's not dox me too hard. One thing we have talked about for a long time, which I might finally be able to get off the ground with you, is long-awaited straight edge workout band Flex XX.
Yeah.
Now, I have wanted Kyle to be the vocalist of Flex XX for a very long time. We have spent many a drunken night, ironically, talking about how great our gym-focused straight-edge band, Flex XX,
From
would be.
two guys that don't go to the gym that are not straight edge.
Yes.
I just think it would be hilarious.
I'm inching closer to straight edges.
So it's like flex, but with two X's, so it was three X's.
Yeah.
Flex XX.
Would you put three X's at the beginning too? Like
No.
X.
This is just too many X's.
Flex. That would be a lot.
And we're pronounced Flex XX.
Because then
Flex
people would think
XX.
we're or flea.
Yeah.
We don't want anyone to be.
Yeah.
We want it to be very clear that this is Flex XX.
Flex XX.
Yeah,
I love that.
we used to constantly talk about just
Straight edge.
Always.
making
Like
just like
beat
a
down
like a
fucking
drop
hardcore.
A. Yeah,
But like working out though.
Working out and fucking hating drugs.
I want to see you sweat.
Yeah, I want to see you sweat.
another rap.
So many. We had so many good and it was just like, I think I don't even know what brought it on. It was like we're not knowing like a 2-piece fucking beat down hardcore band
Yeah.
named Flex XX with two guys that don't look like they go to the gym.
Well, it's because everyone else is like practicing their instruments and starting actual bands, and me and you are sitting around
we're
drinking,
like,
being like, "Oh, Flex XX, bro,
it'd be so good.
be so sick if we could play, or could, do anything."
So we could do it, right? Yeah, we're gonna do it one day. Yeah, we're gonna do it.
But maybe stay tuned in the future for Flex XX. Because
Nice.
I've started to write some real chunky riffs, and I think it'd be interesting to have you come over and rip some vocals over it. So
Cool.
No, yeah, that'd be super fun. I'm down.
awesome. So keep an eye out potentially for Flex XX.
Keep an eye.
All right, guys. So, interesting episode. I think that's going to do it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kyle, for coming here and helping us fill this episode.
Yeah,
Because
it was great.
Absolutely.
We were scrambling, and I think this turned out great. This
Yeah.
turned out way more interesting than I think I ever could have expected.
Hell yeah.
It was fun. You know what? If you guys want to have me again, by all means. I was just gonna come hang out while you guys
Did our
kind of
thing.
hung out with your other guests.
No, you're an
but
interesting person. I'm glad we got you on the pod.
I love that. Thank you.
Yeah. Take it
Cheers.
easy, folks.
So you 7 sandwiches, so you 7 sandwiches, so you 7